Have you ever sat to a financial video and felt like you needed a finance degree just to understand what they were even saying? Yeah, I know that feeling exactly. Because most of the money content out there is either packed with jargon that sounds impressive but explains nothing, or it's some hyped up shortcut that's going to make someone rich, just not you. My name is Ray, and for the past several years I worked as an accountant. Not on Wall Street, not in some glass tower, just doing real financial work, numbers, books, reports, sitting across the table from business owners and finance professionals, watching how money actually moves and how decisions actually get made. And in that time, I had the chance to talk with a lot of financial experts, advisors, planners, people who do this for a living. And what I kept noticing was this enormous gap between what those conversations sounded like and what the average person ever gets to hear. I started following a lot of finance channels, and honestly, I love that this space exists. But I kept feeling like something was missing. Either the content was too surface level to actually change anything, or it was so technical that most people would tune out before the real point landed. And I thought, I've spent years sitting with this stuff. I understand it. Why am I not explaining it to people who actually need it? So here I am. And I'll be upfront about something. The voice you're hearing and the visuals you're seeing, that's AI. I'm using this format because honestly, I'm more comfortable being behind the content than in front of a camera. Maybe that changes someday, but right now what matters to me is that the information is right and that it actually helps you, not how it looks or whether I seem camera ready. I'm still figuring out these AI tools too, by the way. It's genuinely harder than it looks. But I'm learning every day and I'm going to keep getting better at it because I think what I'm trying to do here is worth doing properly. Because here's what I keep coming back to. In school, I memorized the entire periodic table for a chemistry exam I have never once thought about since. But interest rates, credit scores, investing, none of that was considered worth an hour of classroom time. Nobody explained what an index fund actually is or why your savings account might be working against you. Nobody sat us down and said, here is how money actually behaves, and here's what you need to understand to stop losing to it. We handed 18-year-old student loan documents worth more than a car and said, good luck. And most of us are still figuring it out on our own, years later, through expensive mistakes. That's what Ray Invests is going to fix. One video at a time. No complicated terminology for the sake of sounding smart. No get-rich-quick nonsense. Just the real stuff. How compound interest works for you and against you. Why high earners stay broke while people on modest salaries quietly build wealth. What the gap between your income and your spending actually means for your future, and how ordinary people build financial security without needing a finance degree or a lucky break. I've seen people earning great money who have nothing to show for it, and I've watched people on much smaller incomes make decisions that completely change their financial trajectory. It is never about how much comes in. It's always about what you do with it once it does. Wealth is a consistency game. It's boring, it's slow, and it works every single time for the people willing to actually do it. I'm not here to make this channel into some massive production. I'm just someone who understands this stuff, genuinely cares about explaining it clearly, and thinks you deserve access to the same knowledge that most people only get if they're lucky enough to know the right people. So if you're ready to stop feeling behind with money and start actually understanding how it works, join me here. Subscribe to Ray Invests. I'll see you in the first real video very soon.